Muammar Gaddafi has lost all legitimacy. The only thing he's fighting for is his and his family's ability to continue to rule. There's no principle, there's no governance principle, there's no democracy, there's no reform, there's nothing else on the table. And the only way that he can stay is by violently taking on the people of his country. That will not be sustained. And so I believe that he's cornered, but he obviously remains lethal. Yes, there's something of a standoff. That's the way it could be for some period of time, but I think that too will change. There are a lot of tools still at the disposal of the international community. The opposition is really only collecting itself, beginning to shape, define itself in terms of who's playing what role, organize itself. So I believe that, yes, we'll probably see days of movement back and forth a little bit, but I think we need to do several things. One, prepare a no-fly zone in conjunction with our allies, not implement it. Certainly, first hope would be, if it were called on, to be done only in the context of international agreement and sanction. But right now they don't want that, and I think that's good. The last thing we want to think about is any kind of military intervention, and I don't consider the fly zone stepping over that line. We don't want troops on the ground. They don't want troops on the ground. That would be counterproductive. I think there are a number of things we can do in between that, and we need to do them.
Let's just talk about this whole idea of fly zone, because the Secretary of Defense, Mr. Gates, is a little dubious about that. He says basically that's going to war, because he says if you're going to have a fly zone, you've got to go in there and bomb their anti-aircraft installations there, that you're going in and bombing a country.
That's actually not the only option for what one could do. One could crater the airports and the runways and leave them incapable of using them for a period of time. I don't think this is going to be a long-term kind of thing, frankly. That's just my judgment. But I think that if you were to have one, it's not going to be like Iraq or Bosnia for the long term.